Hey guys, it's Julia and welcome to my Complete Beginners Yoga series. Today in this video, we're going to be focusing on how yoga can help improve your flexibility. And I just wanted to say thank you to Nirvana for sponsoring this video and sending me this beautiful high quality mat that I love so much. So I'm excited to get started with you guys. Whenever you're ready, we'll meet standing on the top of your mat. All right, so to find your Tadasana, your perfect posture, you want to start with your feet together and then heel toe your feet out to hips width distance apart. And when you're thinking about hips width distance, it's really more the width of your hip joints instead of how far out your hips go to the side. So from here, we're going to draw the shoulder blades up and down the back, palms facing forward, lengthen up through the crown of the head. This is Tadasana, or perfect posture. That's what it translates to. So take a minute here to just rock back and forth and notice the changes in your body as you distribute your weight differently. So just rock back and forth and then find equilibrium, equally balanced between your heels and the pad. Ready? Lift up all 10 toes. Maybe place them down one at a time. Feel really evenly rooted through all four corners of your feet. That's a cue you'll hear a lot, the four corners. So just yoga is about noticing the small differences. So once you find your Tadasana, close your eyes and slowly start deepening your breath. Remember to add length through the crown of the head so there's room for the neck. And after taking a few deep breaths, open your eyes and notice that your gaze has softened. Try to keep this softness throughout your practice. As you inhale, we're going to focus on linking breath with movement. So inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, lower them back down towards your sides. A couple more times, just to get in the groove of moving with your breath. Inhales always to expand, exhales to contract. Or release. Inhale to lift the arms up overhead. And I'm just gonna step out to the side here. You could stay where you are. I just wanna give you a little bit better visual of what I'm gonna do here. So as you inhale, arms up overhead, grab the left wrist with the right palm, and as you exhale, lean over to the right side, hips come out to the left. Focus on squaring your hips towards the front of the room. You want your entire body to be on one plane, like flat like a pancake. So exhale, always to release. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, lean to the other side. Breathe here. Remember to square your hips and reach that right elbow up towards the right ear so that you can lean a little bit lower. Inhale, come back up. Arms stretched overhead. And as you exhale, you're just gonna bow forward over the hips. Release the hands down towards the mat. Bend the knees as generously as you need to lay the torso down flat onto your thighs so that you can get that length through the entire spine as opposed to just keeping your legs straight and rounding through the upper back. You really want to just focus on lengthening, elongation here. Maybe sway side to side. You can grab opposite elbows or cross your arms. Add a little bit of extra weight here to help pull the crown of the head down towards the mat. I always really like to move my neck here, like a ton of neck issues. So nod the head yes, shake the head no. Just really feeling what you need. And as you inhale, we're gonna peel the chest away from the thighs. You can straighten the legs here, maybe keep a little micro bend in the knees. Arms, palms can come to your shins or upper thighs if you're not, capable of bending all the way down. And if you're super flexible already, for some reason, just genetics, you can keep your palms on the mat. Keeping the neck long, shoulder blades down the back, your gaze is down towards the top of your mat or the floor. And as you exhale, release, bend those knees, come back to your forward bend here. We're gonna plant the hands and step both of the feet back into a downward dog. So your downward dog is gonna be just like your Tadasana with your feet hips width distance apart. Your heels probably won't come down towards the mat. It takes a long time to get there. So just focus on energetically drawing the heels down towards the mat. Keeping activation in the shoulder blades so that you don't just compress into that upper back. You want your down dog to be strengthening. So push the mat away from you. That's how you're gonna get that activation in between your shoulder blades. Actively pushing away all the time. And you can get some neck movement here too if you want. Or we could walk our dog, if you've ever heard somebody say that. It's just bending one knee and then the other. Long, deep breathing. Believe it or not, downward dog is considered a resting pose. So, spend time here. Get comfortable. On your next inhale, take the right leg up in between your palms, plant it down in the center. You could drop your back knee down towards the mat, and we're just gonna come into a little bit of a lunge here. So stay here if this is enough for you. If you'd like a little bit more, on your inhale, always moving with your breath intentionally. Inhale, lift up. Hands can come to heart center. You wanna draw back on that right hip so that you can exhale, sink down into the hip flexor. Make sure that your knee is directly above your ankle. You never want it to go out too far, so. Less is more. Breathe. Lengthen through the crown of the head here. And exhale, release, plant the hands to frame that foot. Once again, you can tuck the back toes, coming up into a full lunge and pressing the mat away from you to reach that right leg back to meet the left in your downward dog once again. A couple of breaths here. And on your next inhale, reach that left leg up in between the palms, plant it down, untuck the back toes, knee comes down towards the mat. Stay here if this is enough for you. If you'd like a little bit more, inhale, rise all the way up, hands to heart center. Exhale to release and sink a little bit lower. Drawing back on that left hip, checking the alignment of your knee over ankle or behind. Find some softness here. Notice if you're working unnecessarily hard. What are you compensating with? Where are you holding your tension? Just ease into it. And exhale, release. Frame that foot, pressing into the mat. You can come on the back ball of that right leg. Exhale, reach the left leg back to meet the right. Downward dog. 3 long, deep breaths here. Making some space for yourself. And as you exhale, we're gonna step both feet up to meet your hands at the top of your mat, coming back into that same half forward fold that we had going on earlier. Inhale to peel the chest forward. Hands can come to your shins or thighs or the mat. Elongating the neck. Exhale, bend the knees, release. Take whatever little micro movement feels good for you here, or just stay if that works for you too. And on your next inhale, we're gonna reach the left leg back behind you, keeping the right leg straight. Your feet are gonna be on 2 separate tracks, 2 different lines. That's another reason I love this mat, is because they have these lines set out for you. You can kind of align your feet exactly how you need them to be. And so as you inhale, we're gonna do that same action that we did in the forward fold by reaching the chest forward. And exhale, just bow over that hip, folding over the right leg. Breathe. Maybe play around with what happens if you draw back on the left hip here. Notice that the stretch changes. Exhale, bow a little deeper. Inhale, reach forward with the chest. Exhale, bring that left leg back to meet the right. And take a forward fold. From here, we're gonna generously bend the knees, moving up through a chair pose. So inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Doing these little movements every day also helps just establish the right kind of movement patterns in your daily life, because that's how we should pick up and put down everything, right? With our knees, never keeping our knees straight and, dumping into our back like that. So we'll just, start making a habit of rising and lowering the correct way. So next time your arms are up overhead, we're gonna move down the same way. Exhale, bend the knees, almost like you're sitting into a chair, and fold. Reach that right leg back behind you. We're gonna come to the same stretch on the other side. So remember, keeping on 2 tracks. Align your feet, lengthen through the collarbones, reach the crown of the head towards the front of the room. Exhale, fold. Find stability, find softness. Making sure you're actively pushing through all 4 corners of your feet. And exhale. Reach that right leg back to meet the left. Peel the chest forward, inhaling to reach through the crown of the head. Exhale, bend the knees, forward fold. It's your last forward fold for this practice, so get out whatever wiggles you need to get out. Nod the head yes. Shake the head no. And exhale, sit all the way down on your mat. And we're gonna extend our legs out in front of us. All right, and from here, we're just gonna extend the legs out long in front of you. Palms come back behind you, placed on the mat, and flex through the feet. Just giving you a chance to rest and realign. I know that if you're a beginner, some of these poses don't really feel natural or easy, but that is the point of yoga, because we want to stress ourselves out on purpose and then learn to breathe through it. And it retrains our parasympathetic nervous system. Next time we encounter real stress, we'll be calmer. We'll know how to breathe. So if you feel stressed and it's not super comfortable, you're doing it right. So Rest here for a moment. And as you exhale, you could slowly lower down one vertebra at a time. Come to lying down on your back. So from here, pressing down into the mat with your feet, just inhale, reach the hips up towards the ceiling. Exhale to lower. Just linking your breath with movement. Try to finish your inhale just as you finish reaching all the way up. Finish your exhale just as you release and come down towards the mat. 2 more times with your own breath. Always letting your breath be the guide. Don't ever focus on trying to catch up. Just be where you are. And the next time we're going to come up, inhale, reach up with the hips. And then we're going to stay here for a minute. If you want a little bit more, just shimmy your shoulder blades underneath your back. Clasp your hands. And then just press down into the mat. See how much extra length that gives me? Just use that as a little bit of leverage here. Keep the chin away from the chest. And breathe. Releasing the shoulders, exhale, come all the way down. And just take 2 neutralizing breaths here because we never want to do back bends and forward bends in a row. Could pinch your disc. But after a couple breaths, bring the knees in towards the chest. This is basically a forward bend, just lying down on your back. So, inhale to release a little bit. Exhale, draw in towards the center. And you can rock side to side here. Give yourself a little low back massage. Making sure that your low back always stays in contact with the mat. You don't want to pull in too much. Just like a nice, gentle release. You're ready, extend your legs out long. We're going to come into a Shavasana, which is the resting pose at the end of your practice. So during Shavasana, you're going to release all conscious control of your breathing and your thoughts. Just allow yourself to be, allow your mind to wander. Palms up towards the ceiling to receive. Closing the eyes. Just feeling supported by your mat. It's hard for some people to stay in this pose, but it's equally as important as all the other ones. Just give yourself a few moments of silence, and then slowly you'll be able to work up to staying here for a while. Slowly start to deepen the breath whenever you're ready. Fluttering open the eyes, adding movement in the fingers and toes. You could even reach up overhead, take a nice long morning stretch. And exhale, turn over onto one side. Just taking a couple breaths in the fetal position. Chilling. The reason that we get up like this in yoga classes is because we don't want any rapid changes in blood pressure. We work so hard to, cultivate this nice calm state, so you don't want to rush out of it. Pressing into the mat, give yourself a hand to lift all the way up. coming cross-legged in the middle of your mat. Okay, and bring your hands to heart center. Bow your head down towards your hands. Send yourself some gratitude for practicing and for trying something new. Thank you so much for letting me guide you, and I hope you'll join me in more of my videos here on YouTube. I also have a full library available on Amazon. And thank you again so much for Nirvana for sponsoring this video. And if you want to hear more about all the reasons I love this mat, I made a whole video reviewing it. So be sure to check that out, and I'll see you next time. I hope you liked this video, and if you want to join me for more practices, my full video library is available on Amazon. It's free with Prime. So you can follow along on your TV, tablet, or from the Amazon app on your phone. That way you can take a yoga class with me virtually anywhere.